Hey guys, I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, another video. Well, I think it's the best way to communicate to a lot of you, and it's easier than a lot of written instructions. Obviously, my written instructions aren't doing very well, so let's try a explanation of the class schedule. The class schedule is right here under class schedule. I know, it's crazy. When you download or click on it, you'll see the class schedule listed here. Note two things. One, start dates and due dates. Due dates are always anything's due by 11:59 p.m. on the due date. I won't do any 12 o'clock or anything like that on you. But the due dates do change, especially when we get down to the last week and the finals. So just keep that in mind. Pay attention to the due dates. And then we have over here two interesting groups, presentation group and interview group. Now I'm going to download the organizer so you can see it a little bit better because I've color-coded some things. Hopefully you can see it better. And drop down here. This maybe. Work with me, won't you please? Here it goes, I think. All right. This is, here we go, the second week. So week 2, class week 2. And even though this is a little garbled, you see that everything is due on the 18th. That means your chapter test or quizzes, your resume, your job description, and your presentation and group interviews. These are set up by groups. So you see presentation groups on the left. I need presentations from group 1 and group 2. And I need interviews set up between group 7 and group 6. The next week, we move those things around. Group 7 is giving their presentations because they're in this presentation column. And group 2, you see have swapped places. They're doing their interviews. So we've already talked about presentations. We've already talked about interviews. But if you have an interview for the week, as in this week, group 7 should have contacted me by now and said, hey, we are open on these 3 days at these 3 times. What works best for you? Same thing with group 6. Group 1 and 2, since they're doing a presentation, all they have to do is make their presentation, work amongst themselves to figure out how they're going to do their PowerPoints and who's going to do what, and then they can go off on their own to make their presentation, use Screencast-O-Matic like I'm using now. But again, for the interviews, we need to have a group meeting. This is the only time we have a synchronous meeting, and we'll do that with the group. Let's say group 7 here. They would go, when they set a meeting up, let's say it's 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, then they would go into group 7 in the Collaborate Ultra link. I know I'm doing more than what I said I was going to do, but I think it's important. Then they click on group 7 in the link, and then everyone from group 7 would already be in the meeting space. I'll get there, and we'll start our interview process. And I will use your resume and the job description that you gave me to base the interview off of. That's the reason why the job description is important and your resume is important. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, you can always text me, call me, whatever. Thanks.